Here we go. How y'all doing tonight? I'm Henry. I'm with Austin Thread Crafts. They're focused, Austin Thread Crafts. I do a lot of Native American style beadwork, and I'm going to show y'all a little bit tonight on doing beaded earrings with the brick stitch. I do it a little different than a lot of people. I cheat in a way, but I'll show you what I mean. But I make all kinds of other things. Let me show you a few things. First of all, here's what we're working on tonight. I'm going to be making that earring there, except the edge is going to be gold and the background is going to be black. It looks better that way. That is my printout, my guide, and I got my little ruler here to mark my place as I go. It takes red, black, green, and silver beads. And if you, I don't know if you can see them real well, they're Delica beads. I use my Yuki Delicas. There's all the different colors I got. Plus I got my seed beads over here. But I got all kinds of colors, but I got thousands more. I got boxes of my Yukis and that I haven't even got up over there yet. But I do a lot of beadwork. This is my work area. Different threads and all the doodads and needles and beads and Dr. Pepper, the number one thing you gotta have. Now when I do earrings, I always use Fireline. Here, let me get it under the light for you. I used to use I tried out Wildfire that you buy at Walmart. That stuff's crap. Forgive me, but it is. Fireline works much better. It doesn't split and fray like the Wildfire does. This is a crystal 4-pound. That's what I use on the earrings. It's fishing line, monofilament fishing line, real fine. It gives you a nice stiff earring. I always coat my earrings with this stuff, polyacrylic, crystal clear top coat. It's actually goes out in my woodworking shop, but I stole it and brought it in here because it works real good. When I'm done with the earring, I dip it down in there, makes it nice and stiff, doesn't bend up, stays in place. That's a pair that I just finished. On all my earrings, I use a little loop on top, and that's where I cheat at when I'm starting to beadwork. I got a few tips and tricks to show y'all too, but I make headbands too. Now this one was made with Delicas also, and it came out really beautiful. I haven't finished it off yet. I'll show you a few of the many headbands that I've got made up. These are mainly seed bead, all seed bead headbands. Number 11 seed beads, different colors, different styles. A couple guitar straps I've got on American Buffalo Bison leather. Henry Hiller, made by Henry Hiller, the straps are, but I do the beadwork and put it on there. And I got that one available and that one available. Now that one uses number 8 pony beads. It came out really nice though. And that one uses seed beads. And I make all kinds of earrings, so that's about as far as the camera will reach. I got dangles and hoops, and like here's, I'll show you a few of them. I got like these big old hoops. I mean, they're really big. And I got dangle ones, and well, there's another hoop one, but I got some smaller hoops. Like this one's a little butterfly one. Came out really nice. Pinks and silvers and different colors, and like a cactus one there. That came out really cute. I kind of like that one, Southwest style cactus. I do have an Etsy store that all this is available. You can message me, I'll send you a link. There's the Shawl Girls. Dance shawl. That's what that one is. That one's called Shawl Girls. See, it's all the girls dancing in a row. And let me hang this back up there. Now you notice, like here, it's got the yellow, and then the yellow on the top of the beadwork, and the yellow on the bottom of the beadwork. And it goes that way: orange, 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 blue, 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 red, red, red. That gives all the dancers a single continuity, ties them all together. So even though they're single dancers, it represents the whole group. Everybody's in spirit with each other. I thought that was my design there. And I do that in the seed bead work too. The seed bead ones are not as expensive as the Delica beads, because the Delica bead, I tell you what, they're expensive. This little tube here at Hobby Lobby is like $6.99 or something like that for this little tube. Whereas the seed beads, I get a big tube like this for $5 or $6. You know, it's quite a bit of difference in beads. So the Delicas are a finer bead. They're more uniform, real uniform, so they make real good earrings. You know, there's no spaces or gaps or anything like that. So I use the Delicas on the earrings, and I've been doing some of them on started doing them on the headbands too. And I make other things. I make some really nice bolo ties. That one's a buffalo, but I've got a lot of stone ones too. They're all up on my Etsy store. So if you're into the old-fashioned Western style tie, it's got the braided leather, the real nice ends on the end of it, and different stones. And they've got the quick slip thing on there. You just push the lever in the center and slide it up and down. So all those bolo ties on my Etsy store, which is Sandra's Stitch Stash, which is like our sister company. I also make the bone breastplates. There's a nice one. That's a man's size, because you know it's got 3 rows in it, and this one's a water spirit one, because see all the different colors of blue on here. But then I got a four direction one over there. It's got the hand painted eagle feathers, imitation eagle feathers. You can't sell real eagle feathers. And it's got the red, yellow, white, and black for the 4 directions. And it's got a imitation 1921 pewter coin on it. That's a real nice breastplate. It's a little smaller, so that's more for a young man or boy, whereas that one's for a little wider man. Alright, let me get my hat off here. And I do other things, flute wraps. If you're into the Native American flute, there's my collection of them. And my pipe up there. I do these flute wraps. They're real nice decorative things. Let me see, I got one on this flute. See, it wraps around the flute, covers up that extra hole if you got it there, and it's got the tie straps. A few bracelets I've made, including the one I'm wearing. So that's pretty much it. Oh, there's some feather clips, and you know, I make all kinds of things. I'm working on fans, and you know, I got beads out the gazoo here. That's all beads down there in them boxes, and beads over there, and all my bead looms. I got 4 bead looms there, and I got another one somewhere. I don't know where it's at. Where did my other one go? I think I lost it. I know it's in here somewhere. It's a real wide one though. It's different than these. This one and that one I made myself, and these I got from Crazy Crow Trading Post, the adjustable ones. So I can do like 4 projects at one time. But we'll start with the earrings now. Let me get the camera stuck up here if I can. If my rubber band hasn't broke all the way. Uh-oh. I don't know if I'm going to be able to mount that. Whoop. Well, the rubber band just broke. Oh no. How am I going to get that thing to stay up there? Let me see if I can get it clamped up here somehow. I can clamp it over like that. And get it down a little bit here where you can see what I'm doing. Well, that's crooked sideways. I don't like that. Huh. I may have to sit a little sideways. I think you can see though. Alright, I'm going to have to fix that somehow, but see if I can get it a little lower maybe. Let me get it positioned here. Whoops. It's going to be fun. I'm going to have to figure out some way to get this camera on here somehow. Dipsy doodle. Okay. I may be a little loopy tonight because I had hernia surgery yesterday. And I'm a little, well, stoned on my head last night. Whatever that stuff is, the anesthesia. I was really bad last night. Okay, let me see, is that going to stay there? Let me wrap the cord around there and hold it in place. Okay, I think if I hold it up enough, y'all can see what I'm doing. Alright, now I told you I start all my earrings. I gotta have some doctor. I still got sore throat from that being intubated with that surgery yesterday. So I gotta sip on that a lot. I told you I start with the loops. They're starter loops. I don't know how good you can see that, but they're real small. I got two sizes, a real tiny one, and then there's one just a little bit bigger. I use the real tiny one on an earring where I start with 2 beads, and if you look at the pattern, move the mouse out of the way. This pattern starts with 2 beads, and that gives me a way to start it with the 2 and with the loop. What I do actually, a lot of people, they start the beads and then later on they sew the loop on. I do it a little differently. I'll show you how I do it. Okay, you get these loops at Fire Mountain gyms online. Now I feed it through the hole, which kind of tough at times. Oh, I got to trim this. I got a nick in my fire line here, so I got to trim it where there's no nick in there. I use little cuticle scissors. They work great for that. Okay, so you come up from the bottom hole, go over the top of the loop, and then back down in the other hole. I'll show you that in just a second. Pull some through. This is the trick I'm talking about. So you got your loop there, okay? The top of the loop. Where's the camera at? Let's see if I can get it up there. And I came up through the bottom hole on this side, over the top, and back down through. Now, what I do here is I tie a knot. Regular old square knot. Alright, so I got the square knot. Tie it real tight. Now it's started. Now you go to the other end of the thread, which I already got on the needle. Go back up through the bottom. And then back down through the top. Now what that does, make sure you got your thread on the top of these loops. There's a groove, and the thread goes in that groove. I gotta find the camera. I know it's real hard to see with this camera, don't focus real good on, but the little loop has a groove on top, and that's where the thread goes. Now see what that does, it gives me a line across between the 2 bottom holes, and then you have a place to start your beads without having to do your usual way to start. So you put a bead on. In this case it's going to be a gold. I still got to figure out where the camera's at, because the top 2 are gold. Go under the thread on the loop, pull it down. If you already know how to prick stitch, this should be pretty easy to figure out. And then just pull it tight, and you got 1 bead on there. Now your next bead, you don't loop it over the wire this time. You put it back through the hole, the bottom hole, going up, and pull it tight. And then you go back down from the top, back down through the bead. The reason you want it to go through the first bead that you put on there is that lines it up with the holes. It may be a little loose at first until you pull it tight. Sometimes it's hard to get it through that first bead because it's over a little bit to the side. You might have to pull it through and then stick it through the bead. That's what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to pull it through the side hole, make sure it's in that groove on top, and then back through that first bead. Alright, see, and then you got the 2 beads on there, your 2 starter beads. Where's the camera at? I know it's hard. I don't like this camera much. It doesn't want to focus on this lower thing here. Come on, focus. Okay, you got your 2 beads on there. Now you take the other string, the tail end piece, you got to stick it back up through that first hole, the first leg that it's right underneath, which is fun to do. And if I can get it in the hole, there it goes through the hole. You pull it up. Alright, you're all set to go. Now you can go into the next row. Now, here's what I do to seal that off. Trim the string down, leave about anywhere from 1/8 to 1/4 inch. So you got just a little bit sticking out. I don't know if you can see it or not. I gotta figure out why this camera's not focusing. You can take your lighter, light it, but don't stick it right over there. Just very slowly move it toward it. And the thread will start melting until it melts down into a little blob right there, and that seals it. Keeps it there. And it's tight. You don't have to sew that thread through the beads and all that. Now, we'll go to the next row of the pattern, and that is a gold, white, and then gold. Okay, since we're ascending, you got to do 2 beads, gold and a white. Now you got, where am I at here? You got the thread that you normally stick it under. If you've done brick stitch before, this is kind of for somebody that knows a little bit about brick stitch. Not really beginner's technique, because I can't really show you that good. Let's see, we got the gold, white, and then another gold. And that's the 3 beads on that row. Go under the little loop, back up through the hole. And there you got your earring started. No muss, no fuss. Real easy to do. Nice secure connection, never had one come loose. Now move the pattern down, then this is gold, white, white, gold. We'll do a couple rows here so y'all can see the how it's going to look. Well, I'm having a hard time hitting these little beads tonight. Said I had to go get a inguinal hernia repaired yesterday. I was there from like 9:45 in the morning till 4 in the afternoon. And boy, they used a robot thing, so they had to cut me in 3 places. So I got 3 cuts across my belly, and actually I'm not feeling too much pain, as long as I'm not getting up and down a lot. If I just sit still, or as I'm sitting, then I'm doing okay. Not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Of course, I still have a little numbness down there from the stuff they stuck me with, so that may be helping. That, and they gave me some Tylenol 3s, so I'm sure that helps a lot too. Okay, let me see. There we go. We got the second row done. Let me see if I can turn this light where it shines. Maybe that'll help. Yeah, that helps a little bit. So there's the first 3 rows. The next row is gold, white, gold, white, gold. Okay, so you get your gold and white for the first. Now I have another trick for the descending part too. Yeah, I only use 1 bead on the descending, 2 beads on the ascending. Ascending means it's getting wider. Descending means, so this would be the ascending part. Let me put it where you can see it. This is the ascending part. It's getting wider, and the descending part gets narrower. If you use 2 beads on the descending, you can do it that way, but I've always found out the edge bead is always a little crooked, and I don't like that. So I got a little trick where I only put 1 bead at a time, but you still don't see the end thread. If you just do 1 bead, like I'm doing it here and go on there, you'll have a thread on the edge. I got a little trick where you don't have that thread. I don't know if we'll get that far on this video tonight, but okay, now we're going to the, what am I doing? Whoops, I've got take that one up to the bead. Gotta remember, like I said, I'm a little loopy tonight still. That Tylenol coating kind of does it to you. It is a prescription though. I don't do drugs. That's against the Native American way. I'm half Lakota and Cherokee and half German, in case anyone wants to know. I am not registered in any tribe because my grandfather's philosophy, my grandfather was Lakota and my grandmother was Cherokee. And his feeling was he was not no damn reservation Indian, is what he always told me. Before he passed away in 1975. He was born in 1906 or 02. 1906 in Logan County, Oklahoma, in Seward, Oklahoma. And he got a little Irish and Swede in there way back when, but he claimed to be full Lakota and my grandmother was Cherokee, so. But I'm not registered to any tribe because they weren't, and they didn't talk about it much because, you know, back in the 40s and 50s when they were younger, it wasn't that good to be an Indian. So they always said they were dark Irish. Did I knock the camera loose? No, the camera's fine. Okay. So it wasn't until, you know, after the 70s that my mother would really even talk about it a lot. And but I'm half German also. So I'm a half and half, I guess you'd call me. Okay, the next line is gold, 4 whites and a gold. So you get a gold and white. Oops, dropped it. Gold. Oh, shit. See, that's how loopy I am. I was going to do that in black. I'm doing this one in white, I guess. We'll change that. So it's gold, white. Shucks. Gold, white. Dang it. See, that's why I should have printed it out in black. Because I was looking at the pattern, just went with the pattern and said gold and white. So, oh well, I'll do the next pair in black then. So this one we're going to do gold and white. It still looks like it's going to come out pretty nice. You could also do the edge in silver if you wanted to, because, you know, you could change these colors all kinds of ways. Make all different styles. This is a really Christmas one, and I think it'll look okay in gold and white. It'll probably look better in black, but I guess I'll have to do the next pair in black, because I ain't unstringing this thing. That's the hard part. Unstringing these, if you make a mistake, Lord help you if one of the beads breaks later on, because that's a real fun. You know, on the loom work, I can go in and add rows, no problem. Take a row out, no problem. But on this stuff, if you break a bead, it's something else. If it ain't on right where you're working at, I had one break one time up in the middle. I fixed it, but it wasn't easy. Okay, where'd my gold bead go? What happened to my bead? Where'd it go? Oh, I'm on white. I'm sorry, people. Probably shouldn't be doing this tonight. Should probably wait a couple of days. But, oh well. I had to do something. I was going crazy just sitting there hurting. So I decided to come up there. I got a whole bunch of beads. I got like $200 worth of beads in today, and I put them all into tubes and some new colors I'm excited about. Okay, next one is gold and 5 whites. See, we're coming on pretty good here. Gold and 5 whites. This takes a lot of time. You're doing basically one bead at a time. Whereas on the loom work, you're doing a whole string at a time. So like that big loom work that I'm working on over here, that's 32 beads, you know, you get 32 beads on the needle and dip, there you're done. This one, you're doing a one bead at a time. So it takes me a couple hours to do any decent size earrings. It takes me over an hour to do each one. And probably tonight, it probably would take me about 2 hours. Because I got to be a little more careful because I don't want to mess up. You don't want to mess up doing this because it's not impossible to unstring them, but it's not fun. So I love the Fireline because it's a little stiffer, so the beadwork itself starts out stiffer, so it's not as hard to seal up with the acrylic seal. And the acrylic seal also coats it, because some of these beads are just dyed. They're called Duracoats, and the dye will rub off fairly easily. But if you coat it with the acrylic coating that I do, some people use nail polish, all kinds of different coatings. You can't use what's that other woodworking stuff that everybody uses? Can't even think of it tonight. But the Duracoat is an acrylic finish, and these are acrylic glass beads, so it works real good to coat these. Okay, so that's the next row down. So we're coming along pretty good here. Now this row is gold, white, silver, or gold, white, gold, white, white, gold, white, gold. Oh boy. Gold, white. You got to do 2 on the ascending again to begin with, and then 1 at a time all the way across. So gold, white, gold, white, white. Gold, white, gold. White, white. Oh, so everyone, I'd like to say Hanyetu Washite. That's Lakota for good night or good evening. Hihane Washite is good morning. If you'd like to learn Lakota, there's a great Zoom meeting that goes on every other weekend that I'm on as a student. I've been studying for about 19 years. Probably know about 3,000 words or so. I can't carry on a conversation yet because on my study it was self-study, and I was kind of like teaching myself. I didn't have anybody to talk to. Finally, I found this Zoom meeting where they actually, you start talking it and learning how to pronounce it all. I could read and write it pretty good, but I couldn't speak it because I didn't know how to pronounce all the letters, because it's not the same as English letters. So it's not hard. Beautiful, beautiful language. If you want to get into the spirit of being a Lakota, you got to learn the language, because the language is Lakota. And things mean differently, like Wanka Tonka, what the white man calls the Great Spirit. That's not what it means in Lakota. That's the Christianized version of it. And it more means like everything and everywhere spirit, because the Lakota believe that everything has a spirit. We're all made of the same stuff. We're made of the same stuff these glass beads are. Made of the same stuff this needle and even this plastic fishing line is made of. We all come from the same stuff, Mother Earth. So if we have a spirit, why can't they have a spirit? Maybe not as strong a spirit, but the rocks, they're billions of years old. That's a very knowledgeable spirit there. Now this one is gold, all whites and the gold. So I did the gold white. That I hear people say, well, you're praying to rocks and trees and everything. Well, the Lakota believe everything is part of the Great Spirit. Everything. We're all connected. We're all made of the same dirt. When we die, we go back to dirt. Our spirit goes on back to the Great Spirit realm, the spirit world. So they believe you have 2 spirits. You have your earth spirit, which is the connection to Mother Earth that comes and goes. When we die, we go back into the dirt, and when we eat things, we're basically eating everything that died before us. That's in the dirt, and so it's recycled. And all this dirt, everything on Earth, came from the stars to begin with. So it's all very connected. And all that matter, all the different elements and everything else, that's just energy. Energy in a compact form. That's where we believe the spiritual energy is. That's the energy of the energy of this dirt. The dirt's made out of energy. It can go back into being energy. So everything's connected. All that energy, everything together connected is the Great Spirit. So you're part of, that's why we think everything is holy. It's because everything is made of energy. And all that energy is the universe. So if we're all connected and we're all made from the same stuff, every single one of us. If you take us down to our basic parts, get rid of the water, and you've got a little pile of ash, it's all the same. You can't tell people apart. Alright, this next one is, okay, that was the, I got to talking and forgot where I was at. It's gold, all whites, and a gold. So that's why, you know, we smoke a pipe. We smoke tobacco in it. When we take the smoke into our mouth, we say our prayer. The vibrations of our spirit vibrate that smoke, the spirit of that smoke, and then it goes out into the air, goes into the Great Spirit. Everything connected together is the Great Spirit, and that's how He hears our prayers. When we ask the eagle, the reason the eagle is so revered is it flies highest, and it flies up closest to where the Great Spirit is. So eagle feathers are very important to us. Why our fans and everything else are made of eagle feathers, like the smudge fan. Carries our prayer. We're asking the spirit of the eagle. Not the eagle itself, but the spirit of the eagle. To carry our prayers up to the sky. The smoke disperses into the universe, mixes with the universe. So it connects to the universe. Because, you know, when you put out a certain energy, you attract that same energy. If you put out hate, negativity, you're going to get hate and negativity back. That's because that energies attract each other. You put out goodness, you'll get goodness back. What comes around goes around. That's very much true. So if you try to start being nicer to people, you're going to find out people start being nicer to you. Their energy can sense your energy, and it attracts them. If you put out bad energy, you're going to get bad energy in return. But there's always a balance. You know, there's why bad things happen. Well, bad things happen because people do bad things. So you got to practice being good. You'll find if you practice being good in your life, being nice to people, whether they deserve it or not, maybe you being nice to that person will change your energy a little bit. Maybe you being nice to them will make them feel a little nicer that day, and they'll be nice to somebody, and it spreads. If you're mean and hateful to them, they're going to have, you know, they're going to know that. They're going to get mean and hateful that day too. So your energy affects other people. If you're in a group and your energy's strong, you can turn that whole group nice or bad. That's how things work. And it's true. I've seen it over and over and over. I'm 61 and a half years old, okay? I've been around. You can look at me, you can tell I'm rough. I've been around. Been places I don't ever want to go back to. Been places I'd love to go back to. I've been all over. I used to work for the Weather Service when I was young. I was in California and Nevada and Michigan. And I've been up in Maryland and most states I think New Hampshire, Connecticut, Vermont, and Maine, and maybe New Jersey. I don't think I've been in New Jersey. Every other state I think I've been in or through multiple times sometimes. I lived in Florida when I was in the Navy, so I've been all over. I've seen all kinds of people, all kinds of regions. Been in the South, been in the North. If you're good to people, it's going to affect them, and maybe, just maybe, they'll be good to somebody else. Yeah, we're going on down the line here. See, once you get going, once you get used to doing this, it goes pretty good. Not as fast as loom work. Still, it takes me like 8 hours to do that loom, that shawl dancer. It took me like 8 hours to do that. A little harder to do the delicate beads on the loom than the seed beads. Alright, look at that. Uh-oh. See, now I messed up. I got 3 white lines. Well, that's good. I can show you what happens when you mess up. I got 3 lines of white. There's only supposed to be 2 lines. Okay, let me take the needle off the thread. Now we got to pull that whole row out. You just pull a bead, grab that bead and pull it. Grab the next bead and pull it. Oh man, I gotta see, that's what you get for not paying attention. You just gotta grab the bead and pull it back out. Grab the next bead, pull it. That's the only way to do it. I don't have to pull out the first 2 because they were right, and there was supposed to be a gold one. But I gotta go back. I don't know if y'all can see what I'm doing. See, I take my thumbnail, stick it down under the bead, grab that bead and just pull it. Now if I was using that Wildfire from Walmart, it'd fray this string right on up. But this Fireline doesn't fray. It's molecularly bonded. Okay, I'm back down to 2 beads, so I pretty much pulled that whole row out. It does kind of tend to make the Fireline twisty, but you just pull, that doesn't matter, you just run it back through your fingers. Now, I gotta bead this needle again. Oops, wrong hole. Wrong end, I mean. Alright. Got the Fireline back, and it threads easier than that Wildfire in regular thread do because it's a single monofilament line. Now, let's start over again. So now we got gold, then white, white. So it was gold, white, white, gold, white, white, gold, white, gold. You got that? I always print my patterns out so that, whoops. Well, for one thing, I can't look at the computer while I got the video going. So I have to print them out. I use Bead Tool 4. Love that program. They need to make a couple of improvements to it. Like when you do the design, you actually do it sideways instead of straight across. And that kind of confusing sometimes, but I'd like to see them. They're supposed to fix that in the next version, but it supports all the different beads. So the gold, white, gold, white, white, gold. White, white, gold, white, gold. Hey, I got it down. Now I just got to make sure I beat it right. I love doing beadwork. I learned to do beadwork in Boy Scouts, actually, when I was about 14 years old. And then my grandfather, I went to scout camp and said, hey, that's pretty much fun. He goes, oh yeah, well, here, let me show you how to do all this stuff. I'm like, okay. So my grandfather taught me how to do beadwork. And, most of the time it's women doing beadwork, but men can do it too. It's a very spiritual thing. You really connect to the Native American spirit when you're doing beadwork. If you're doing Native American designs, that is. I guess if you're doing Irish design, you connect to the Irish spirit. But all the spirits are still all connected together to the Great Spirit. The Everywhere Spirit, I should say, not the Great Spirit. The Everywhere Holy, Everywhere Spirit. Wakan means holy, spirit. Tonka is large, everywhere, everything. So Wakan Tonka is the Everywhere Spirit. the creator. Because if we're the universe, we're created by the universe is the creator. Everything's, all the energy of the universe, it was one time in one place. And we all came from that. Now, so we got all that so far. Next we got another gold and all whites. I don't know how long I've been on here, but not that long, I don't guess. I hope y'all are all watching this and maybe picking up a trick or two, seeing how it's done, see how, oops. I know I really can't show a lot for beginners, so, but if you tried, well, okay, see, there's actually, when you do that, there's a line between the two beads. And what you're actually doing is you've got to stick that needle underneath that line between the two beads, and that's your hook point. And then you come up to the bead. So when you pull it tight, you're connecting all those together. Okay, this is all whites across here. The nice thing about these delicate beads, they're all really consistent in size. I've done a few of these earrings with seed beads, and I just didn't like the way they came out because they're not consistent. Now that happens a lot. The line wants to loop around the bottom of what you're stitching, and I keep hitting the wire over here from the camera. I gotta fix that for next time. The mount. I got a GoPro mount, but it's not a GoPro camera. So I may get a GoPro camera, so I got a mount for it. The mount was actually cost as much as this camera that I got. Like $70 for this mount, and I get home and I found out, no, it don't work on my camera. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, I got a bunch of new beads in today. Love the colors. Hopefully I can do a lot more designs, because I've been doing bracelets too. The brick stitch bracelets. They come out real nice. I'll show you one here real quick. Let me move, get a sip of Dr. Pepper. Throat's getting dry again. I'll show you one of my bracelets I did. It's real simple. It's two colors, gold and black. That's brick stitch. Now don't coat these in the polyacrylic because they got to be flexible. See, I use the same little ends that I use on the earrings. We'll find the camera here. So it's done the same way, but I got chain on it with a little oyster clasp on the end, and you just clasp it around your wrist, and one size fits all because you got all the different chains. Well, where's that camera at? There it is. And that's one of the bracelets. Just two colors, real simple, real pretty. Besides the leather, I've done some leather-based bracelets like that one that's stitched onto leather. It's got a aluminum insert in it. There's a couple more I did. I do this particular design in all different colors. And then this is a heart design. It's one heart laid right on top of the rest. See, and it's got the oyster clasp same way. So that was one of these are all brick stitch too, with the delicate beads. And I come up with all different colors. I did color combinations of them. Like I said, I got a couple different styles of these big hoops. I like that one. That came out real nice. That's brick stitch also, and that's like a a 2-inch hoop. Yeah, it's a 2-inch hoop. Pretty good size earrings, but I got some smaller hoops too. And then I got all different assortment of colors of these dangle earrings, done with a metal cone on the top. They're just, simple dangle earrings. I got all kinds of color combinations of those. Probably about 20 different headband styles now. Alright, let me get back to this, finish this row off so we can start the next row. Okay, let me make sure I'm doing the right thing. Well, sometimes it's hard to pick that needle up. Alright, back to the white. Looks like I gotta get some more white out. I'm kind of running low. But I got a whole big thing of them today. I got like 6 of the colors. I got a big thing of them. Should have lasted me a while. I bought these from Fire Mountain Gems too. The delicate beads. Where's the camera? That's a, I forgot what size this was. It's like $21 for this size of the delicas. And they're quite a bit more than the cheaper seed beads. Seed beads, I use the Toho beads. That's the only brand I use on the seed beads is Toho, because they're one of the top 2 selling seed beads, because their quality and continuity on size also. They're really good about it. Not as good as the Miyuki Delicas, but they're a real uniform bead. And I don't buy the cheapo Walmart or Hobby Lobby or the Czech beads or any of those. I buy Toho. And I buy them wholesale, but the Miyukas I can't get wholesale. So I gotta pay those high prices for them. But they are well worth it. I just love doing these earrings with these Miyukis. Almost finished this row. Can't wait to get into the reds and greens though. That's coming up like in 2 rows. See, it takes a while to do these, and the people ask, well, wow, you're charging $40, $50 for a pair of earrings. I'm not making minimum wage here. If it takes me 4 hours to make a pair of earrings for $35, do you think I'm making minimum wage? When you got to spend $7 or $8 worth of beads at least, so I make $25 for 4 hours of work? Nah. Okay, now the next row, got a gold. Now see, every time you do this, you flip. I flip it over. So start on the next row. When I get done with that, I flip it over again, start back on that row. Some people beat it up and beat it that. I just flip it over. It seems to make it more level, so it doesn't curl as much. Okay, we still got gold and white. Ow, ow. I bent a little wrong there. Okay, gold and what we got? 5 whites. Gold and 5 whites. Okay. And it's fishing line, so it's kind of stiff. It gets in the way sometimes. And does all kinds of weird things. Loops up and curls and everything else. But you can't use regular sewing thread. It just doesn't work. It'll break too easy. This is 4-pound fishing line. And I've never had one break. Of course, I've never had any of my headbands made with the sewing thread, because I use polyester cotton combination thread, heavy duty sewing thread. I've never had one of those break either. Now that the shawl dancer, that's my most popular headband. I just sold one of those the other day, a pair of earrings and a guitar strap. $300 guitar strap. I was happy about that. Now I got one guy over in England that's bought 2 of them from me. He loves me. He says he wants to get another one this summer. I said, well, I got to make another one then. So I got one on the loom over here started, but the one I just sold was the what's called the Buffalo Trails pattern. And I don't even have the pattern. It's over there in the pile somewhere. Now there's 5 whites and then a gold. I do sell on my Etsy shop. There are some of my beadwork designs that I do have the patterns for sale as PDFs. If you're looking for patterns, I can't seem to keep up on all the different designs I do, but most of my headbands are up there, and some of the wider guitar strap patterns are up there too. And they're very reasonably priced. And also I do cross stitch patterns, because I do cross stitch also. In fact, that's kind of the way I got into cross stitch, is because I was up in this little bitty town in the middle of Nevada, and you had to drive like 90 miles to even buy a pair of underwear. So I couldn't find any beads there at the time, so I wanted to do beadwork. So I was in Hobby Lobby in Reno looking for beadwork, looking for beads and stuff, and I saw the really nice Native American designs in cross stitch. I said, hey, you know, I got to try that. It's kind of like beadwork. So I did that for many years, cross stitch, until I got back into the beadwork a few years ago when I found the Toho beads. I bought Hobby Lobby beads. I had like a gallon bag full. I bought so many beads of the cheap beads. And then I discovered the Toho beads, and I beaded a couple things with this, with the Tohos, and I said, you know what? I don't want these other beads no more. So I found a place down in Arizona that teaches young Native Americans how to do beadwork, and I sent a big box of beads down to them. So I sent the 9-pound gallon Ziploc bag full of beads to them. I said, here you go. You pay the shipping, I'll send it to you. Alright, now we're going to get into some colors. Let me make sure I'm doing all this right. There's only one gold one on that one. Alright, now we got gold and white again. They don't always start with gold and white. Oh yeah, I guess they do. Every one starts with gold and white. And that's good to remember. Gold and white, but then we start getting some color in here, other than gold and white. I hope y'all can see what I'm doing here. I'll show it where I'm at here in just a second. Now it'll move around a lot right now, but once I dip it in that acrylic, it's nice and stiff. Now that's what it looks like so far. Got the top part with the all the gold things. Now we got gold and white, 3 greens. I got the green right here. I got gold, green, white, and red. It was supposed to be black, but I screwed up. Shicha, bad. That's a Lakota word for bad. Shicha. Hia. No. If you ever watch Dances with Wolves, when Wind in His Hair, when Dances with Wolf, Shungomanitu Tanka Obuachi said that he was leaving to protect the people, Wind in His Hair stood up and said, Hia. That means no. That's no in Lakota. Hia. Okay, white, gold. So now we're going to do a white, gold. Getting into some nice pretty colors here. White. Ha is yes. Hia, no. Ha, yes. So white, gold. Lakota is a beautiful language. Like here's example. Tako ehe kini iwaha o naho un wa shte tka wana upchebi ala wowo yakin te. That means, basically, it is good hearing all the words that you say. But now I will speak for a while. It's kind of what you say in a council meeting or something, you know, when you stand up and it's your turn. It's good hearing all the words that you say. You always tell them, it's good hearing what you say, whether you agree with it or not. It's good to hear it, because you should have different points of view presented to you so that you have options. Okay, so we had white, now 3 greens. Boy, I'm starting to really hurt. I'm going to have to go down and take a pill here in a little bit. They cut me in like 3 places all across my belly. So, did the robotic surgery on me. Stuck a camera in and 2 robot arms and went down into the groin area and put a mesh in there and zipped that sucker right in there. That part don't hurt. Where the hernia was and the mesh went, that doesn't bother me. It's where they cut me up above and stuck the robot arms in me. I guess they had to stick a little robot arm through them little holes they cut. But it more non-invasive than cutting a big old slit in me down there. I didn't want that, so I was kind of happy to get the robotic thing. I'm not going to be happy getting the bill. Y'all buy some beadwork so I can pay my medical bills. But if you want to visit me on Etsy, I'm at Sandra's Stitch Stash, which also has a website, sandrastitchstash.com. I've got all the headbands on there, but I don't think I have as much the beadwork stuff on there. But all the headbands are on there. sandrastitchstash.com. Okay, now the next one, got that. Okay, the next one, we're going to get into some red. We got a gold, white, white first. So the regular gold, white. Now, when you're doing this, it's going to be wavy and bendy and everything else. Once you get done, you put it down on the ground, you flatten it real good. I got a speaker. I got a little Bluetooth speaker. I set that on it overnight. That keeps it all flat and together, and that allows the fishing line to mold and conform, and doesn't stretch much, which is good too. It's not as stretching. It doesn't stretch a lot. So that kind of flattens it out, and then I dip it in the acrylic and then put it on a piece of paper towel to get the excess acrylic off. I just take it and dap it on, dap the towel on to get the excess acrylic off. You see that with gold, white, white. And then I set the speaker on it overnight, let it dry, and that gives me the nice flat earrings, nice flat stiff earrings. Okay, now we got 3 greens again. So it's gold, white, white, 3 greens, gold, red, gold, green, 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 white, white, gold. Okay, green, 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 gold, red, gold, green, 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 white, white, gold. Green is G in Lakota. G. White is Ska. I don't know what gold is. I have to look that one up. Red is Sha. Sha. And black is Sapa. You hear Paha Sapa, the Black Hills. Paha is hill and Sapa is black. The Black Hills. Now we got gold, red, gold. This could be real pretty even with the white background. I hope y'all sticking with me and watching this. I know it's probably not that exciting to watch somebody do beadwork, but like I said, if you learn something, maybe I'll probably just get this top half done on this video, or maybe not even then, but I'll have to do another video for the bottom half. And hopefully I did a loom video that should be on YouTube here somewhere that shows you how to start and stop the thread in the middle of your beadwork. A little trick that I use where you don't have, some people tie a knot on the outside warp string to end it. I don't do that. I thread it back into the beads and tie it on one of the inner strings, and you don't see any knots along the edge of the beadwork. It makes it for a real nice, neat beadwork. It's real secure because all the beads that you went back to are holding the thread from ever unraveling or anything like that. So it's a pretty neat little trick on how to start and stop your threads on loom work. Because you just can't get a thread long enough to do the whole thing in one piece. And, I get about 1 inch to 2 inches on a thread, depending on how wide the beadwork is. On this little headbands where they're 17 beads wide, I get maybe 2.5 inches. But one of them 32, 33 inch wide beadworks, you want to get, ow, ow, ow. It only hurts when I laugh. Oh man, I may have to end this here pretty soon because I need to go down and take a pain pill. But I think y'all are getting a good idea. Now look how nice that looks. See, it's coming out along real good. See, it's wobbly. But that's okay. Like I said, once you get done, you sit there and press it flat and get everything in place. Flip it over. Press it all, you know, you're working the beads into there where they're nice and flat. And then when you dip it and you dab the excess off and it put something heavy on it to keep it pressed flat, it'll be a nice flat one like this. See, this one's real flat, real uniform and even. See? And it don't bend up like this one. You know, if you do that, it's going to bend. It's real flexible. But once you polycoat it with that acrylic, they won't bend up like that. Now here's another one I made. I've only done one of these so far, but I think this is really neat looking. It's kind of like a teardrop, twisty. I gotta make the other one for that one, and then I'm gonna do, of course, red ones and different colors. And this is another design. I just only got one of these made so far. It's a smaller one, not Native American. It's more of an elegant design. It's gold and silver and black. I like the gold, silver, black combinations. It comes out really nice. And I made a couple here that I haven't finished yet either. Then I'm gonna. These have hoops. I put the hoops all the way on. Oops, let me get it under here like that. You know, you got the earring holder here. There's going to be a feather hanging in the middle, and on each one of these hoops there's going to be a feather. That's the 4 directions earring that I'm working on. Oops, there's the camera. And it'll have a feather off each one of them hoops. I think that looks pretty neat. You could also do these as a necklace instead of just an earring. See, this one I made out of seed beads. I never did the second one because and this one's poly. I coated this one too. But I made that one out of seed beads, and you can see that it's a little rougher looking. The beads, and these are even Toho beads, but they're pretty uniform, and it doesn't look too bad. That was before I had the metal loops, so I had to do the loop out of beadwork. This was like the first one I ever made, doing brick stitch. So I keep it here just for an example, you know, to show me what I'm doing. I've got a bunch of these, and I only got one made. Like, here's a dangle one with dangles on it, fringe. Real pretty. I still got to make a second one of those. I don't know if you can see. Whoops, can't really see it there. I didn't really like this design much, but I only made one of these too so far. I'm gonna make another one of those. See, these got the hoops on it. Once I found them hoops, I'll never go back, you know. But yeah, these are just ones and you know, I experiment. I play around. Like, I tried doing this one, and I thought, well, no, I like the design. I love the design, but I shouldn't have done it with that round thing on there. I should have just done the bottom part. So I got to make another one of these with just the bottom part for earrings, because I really like that design. I just got so many things going on. I got a bunch of stones here I'm going to make more cabochones out of, and ouch. See, that's my cuts on me where they cut me up. There, and over here. They just stick the robot arms in here and the camera in there, and they kind of hurt. Ouch. So I think I'm going to end this now, and I'll go ahead and finish off the top half. In the next video I'll start on the bottom half, show you my trick for going down, descending. And let me get a sip of Dr. Pepper here. I hope y'all all have enjoyed the video. Feel free to ask me any questions. I'll try to answer. If you want the links, when I post this video, I'll put the links on the sandrastitchdash.com. Where'd my card go? I think it shows it on the card there. Let me see if I can get the card on there. I'm Austin Threadcrafts, but on our Etsy site is Sandra Stitch Dash also. I think you can search for that. I'm Henry. Can you read this? I'm trying to find that. There it is. sandrastitchdash.com. I have all the headbands there. You can message me there if you've seen some earrings you like. If you're interested, I'll either find a link or tell you how much they are, or if any of the bolo ties, they're on my Etsy shop, and I believe both of the bone breastplates are on the Etsy shop. Most of the headbands are the more common ones. I made a couple recently that I haven't. Here, I'll show you two of them. I actually made two others with the delicate beads. I'll show you those two because they're not on the Etsy shop yet. I really like this one. I got a whole series that I call Turquoise Mountains, because if you look at the blue beads, well, you can't really see them here, but the pictures you can. They got like specks on them. They look like turquoise. That's a smaller one. I think these are like 45 with seed beads, but the Mayuka's going to probably be a little more. I haven't put this one up on the shop yet, anywhere. And then I made this one, which is, well, this is a seed bead one that I call Turquoise Mountain too. It's another small one. It's kind of a variation on that other one. Because see, it looks at Turquoise Mountain. That's why I call that series a Turquoise Mountain. Actually, I got two of those available. Made up. Here's the one I made out of the Delicas. This one's made out of Delicas. This is what double Turquoise Mountain, basically back to back. And you see the Delicas are more fine, a little shinier, and this one's got a silver edge on it, silver beads on the edge, and they're a higher quality bead, real beautiful beads. See, there's no gaps in there, like on the seed beads. Seed beads are round. Okay, so you got gaps. You can actually see through that. If you look, when I run it over the black beads, you can see the black through there. You can see that. But on the Delicas, they're more like a tubular bead. So the bottom and top is flat, whereas the seed bead is more rounded. So the Delicas sit together better, and they stay a nice straight line better. And there's less gaps in there. You can't see the black underneath, the black beads through there. Whereas on this one you can. You can actually see the black go by under there. So that's why I like the Delicas. They're a finer, smaller, a little bit smaller bead too, even though they're both size 11s. On the shawl dancers with the size 11 seed beads, I do 21 girls. This one had 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, well, counting the sets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's 24. So instead of 21 girls, I have to do 24 girls to get the same length. So they're a little bit smaller than the seed beads, sit together much better, and I really like them. I like the Delicas. They're great, and they're shiny. You know, they're shiny. Well, you can get matte ones, but a lot of them are shiny or crystal. Like the blue on this one is actually crystal. The light will shine kind of through it some. The gold is an opaque. And all these that I'm using on this earring are opaques. And these are all opaques on here. But some of these other ones, like on these, some of these are, well, not that one. I think it's this one that's got some of the, yeah, the purples and some of the golds are actually, and the purples on the bottom, the light goes through. So that kind of gives them a sparkle. They're silver lined on the inside, I think. And they're more sparkly, but they're a better quality bead. More expensive though. And the difference between, you know, $6 for this tube or $6 for this tube, that's the difference. And quite a bit, because about 10 of these tubes will fit in that tube. So they're about 10 times as much as the seed beads, but you got to get what you got to get. So if you see anything you like, visit us at sandrastitchdash.com or go on to Etsy and search for Sandra Stitch Dash. Got all kinds of headbands for all different styles, and I'm sure there's something in there for everybody. And I'll do my next video. I'll finish this top half, and then we'll start on the bottom half, and I'll show you the descending trick. That little trick with that loop said just tie it around it, tie it, and that gives you a starting space to stitch your first beads instead of trying to hold two little beads in your hand without. Oh, that's a pain. I hate starting the beadwork until I discovered how to do that with that loop on the ring. When I figured that out, I said, hey, that worked great. Made it a lot easier and quicker. It'd take me half an hour to get the first two beads started on the other ones. But once I started that loop like that, you can, if it doesn't sit quite right, you can squeeze it shut a little bit, squeeze it together, and it'll fit right on there. See, like that. I just squeezed it shut a little bit, and it fits right on top of them two beads perfectly. Secure, won't ever come loose. Gives you an easy way to start your beads without having to do the regular brick stitch start. Try it out. I might have to show a few times how to do it. Every time I do a video, I guess I'll start it that way and show people how to do it. So come visit us again. Subscribe to my channel. Hopefully I'll get more videos up soon. As soon as I'm feeling a little better, I want to work on that. I got some awesome designs. I got these designs I did up for bracelets, because what I want to do is basically put a little loop and kind of make a daisy chain like bracelet out of these little ones here. Those are for earrings, but like I can daisy chain them together. I'll use a regular split ring and start it the same way, but then start the next one on there, so it's kind of like the little daisy chain together. So I did, a few different designs this morning. When I woke up at 7:30 and said, hey, I'm wide awake. I slept all day yesterday on the operating table and everywhere else. But come join us for our videos. Subscribe to my channel here, and hopefully I'll get some more videos up soon. Check out that other one on the loom work, because that's a real neat trick. Gives you a real professional edge finish, so you don't have any knots and strings hanging out the edges. Gives you a more uniform look, and works. That's a little trick I learned, just like this little trick here. So come check us out, Austin Thread Crafts. On my Etsy shop, you look under handmade items, and I think on Sanders Stitch Dash you got to click on apparel. If you click on apparel, that would take you to it. But on the home page, there's a link right to all the headbands and everything. I'll try to get these other headbands up on there soon. I do have this set. Oh, I don't have that set of earrings either. It's on the Etsy shop on the Sanders Stitch Dash. If you cross stitch, hey, we got 13,200 different categories of items on our cross stitch shop, and some of those that's individual listings, and some of those listings have up to 100 items on them. Like some of the beads we sell and stuff, there'll be 100 different colors of beads on some of those listings. 13,200. We got everything you need for cross stitch, fabrics, all kinds of flosses, patterns. Oh, we have a huge Stony Creek selection. So if you cross stitch, come check it out too, because we got everything. We got dang good prices. Come check us out and come get some headbands. Go to Powwow, you want a nice headband, we got them, and something for everybody. So come check us out. Y'all have a good evening. Happy wash day. Good night. Happy wash day. And have a good evening. Thanks for stopping by.